in recent times.
Minister ANN KERVORKIAN,
what features
CBC
of the legislation most concern you as Privacy Commissioner?
2012.
There's a call in the legislation for warrantless access to subscriber data, meaning the individual's names, addresses, phone books, all these phone numbers, of course, but most importantly, their IP address and their ISP. So this is data relating to how you connect to the internet, what websites you go to, what videos you access, what books you read. It sends a very telling picture. By connecting the dots of your surfing pattern, it can reveal a great deal about you. And I don't think that kind of information should be accessed without a warrant.
Now, again, for people who are not fluent in some of these things, I'm one of them. When you say the IP address, what is it we're looking at there? Is the address itself the portal to all these informations that you get, or is there another step beyond that?
By IP address, I'm talking about the way in which you connect to the internet. So your computer, when you connect to the internet, has a code called an IP address. But it's identifiable to your computer, which is linked to you. And through that device, when you visit various websites, you leave a digital trail of where you've been and your activities and your interests. And it's that picture that can be painted about you, that can reveal a very detailed personal profile of your activities and interests, where you surf the web, what activities you're engaged in, who you connect with, things of that nature. And we have no problem. If the police seek out a warrant for this information, they suspect some wrongdoing, they go before a judge, they make their case, by all means, they'll be given a warrant, they should access that information. But absent that, we don't know why this information should be accessible about all of us. I'm talking all of us, not just the wrongdoers.
Well, this is just to make sure that we're all in the right spot. Do the police at the present minute, according to your understanding, have the ability, A, to get the IP address of a given subscriber or a given person on the internet, and B, without warrant, use that address to then pursue a full portrait of that subscriber's visits to the internet as things are right now?
They can do one of two things right now. First of all, they can go to the telcos, the telephone companies, and service providers, and ask them, will they give them this information? So right now, the telcos are permitted, if they desire, voluntarily to give that information out. That option already exists. And the police can also go and seek out a warrant for this information. So they have these options presently available, and I should tell you, they work very, very well. The police have been very successful in finding the child pornographers, for example, that they're seeking.
And this is, again, I'm just clarifying the stage for the whole discussion. Do the telephone or other internet providers, are they required by law at the present time, before the bill, are they required to give this information, and are they required to give the history of people on the internet, or is it just that they're choosing to do so when asked?
They're not required right now, absent a warrant, but I should point out that roughly 95% of them, upon being asked, do so. They provide this information. And there hasn't been one case, not one, Rex, where the police have shown us that the absence of, trying to get a warrant has prevented them from accessing information that they've desired. There has never been a time when they've sought a warrant and the warrant has been denied, for example, or where seeking a warrant has impeded an investigation along the lines that they're describing child predators.
I think that's a very, very strong point. So where have they, meaning the police, where have they either admitted or established, or where have other people established that up to now, when the police were on serious investigation, they faced no impediments because they lacked powers to search the internet?
Nowhere. I cannot point you to one example. And for the past 2 years, the police have been seeking examples, obviously, to bring to the public's attention in support of their case. In fact, they sent out an email. This was found out through a Freedom of Information request. An email was sent out, the Association of Chiefs of Police, to their membership saying, please give us examples. We need examples here. There hasn't been a case brought forward. So I suggest to you that this is a solution in search of a problem. It is unnecessary However, it has serious repercussions for our privacy and our freedoms in this society that thus far is full of freedom and liberty.
And again, forgive me using your first name, but it's kind of awkward to do anything else in this context. Tell me, have you had a chance, or has this topic brought you into occasions where you've spoken to the other privacy commissioners, either in this country or outside, about this legislation? Well, and if you have, what are they saying?
Absolutely. In fact, last year, possibly the year before, Jennifer Stoddard, who is our federal privacy commissioner, she got the signatures of every commissioner across Canada in all the provinces and territories. Along with her signature, we all signed our opposition to this bill and submitted it to the government. So we are all aligned. All privacy commissioners across Canada speak with one voice in opposing this bill.
That's very strong. No one will forget, let's put it that way, no one will forget that on the introduction of this legislation, the minister, Mr. Taves, in a moment that will last in Hansard's pages almost forever, said, if you're against this legislation, more or less, you're with the child pornographers. Obviously, the attempt to leverage the most repulsive set of crimes that most of us will acknowledge was linked originally to this legislation. Is it about child pornography and pedophilia, or is it about other stuff?
It extends well beyond child pornography and child predators. It extends to other areas of criminal activity and non-criminal activity.
None?
So that's why it's so disingenuous just to say this is about the child pornographers. Of course, if you cast it in that light, it will get people behind it, because who wants to support child pornographers? But to suggest that, for example, privacy commissioners are among the child pornographers is crazy.
It's insulting.
And I think the minister retracted his statement.
Yes, I know he did, but there was a significant gap between the saying and the retraction.
In fairness to him, our point is, of course, we all oppose child pornographers, but you can't make this. It's about privacy or child pornography. You're for one or the other. We can have both. You can have a society which is free and has very strong privacy protections and strong powers for law enforcement to go after the real bad guys.
As a last point, and I know you're not, and I accept that you're not a political officer in the standard sense of the term, but I'll ask you for a political judgment, not a partisan one, just a political judgment as such. Do you think that given the volume of complaint, both social media, editorial, and from the consensus of the privacy commissioners, that this bill, or at least the portions of it that have really, really rocked people's attention, that this bill is over?
I don't want to I don't want to go that far, but what I will say is I'm very pleased and grateful to Minister Taves that he said the bill is going to be going directly to committee before second reading. That's a very positive move. And the minister has indicated that he's open to seeking out significant amendments to the bill. So we look forward to working with the government, with Minister Taves, to amend the most problematic area, which is the area of warrantless access to subscriber data. And our goal is to get judicial oversight so that this is properly overseen by the judiciary and we can preserve our freedoms and our privacy as well as support law enforcement.
Well, ANN KERVORKIAN, that's a very strong presentation. I'm really glad that you accepted the invitation to talk to us this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Rex. It's always a pleasure.
ANN KERVORKIAN is the Information and Privacy Commissioner of the Province of Ontario. I spoke with her just a little earlier this afternoon. The number here is 1-888-416-8333. Today we're talking about the great controversy that's...
So, I want to tag a few things. That the minister changed the name of the accord after his either with the legislation or with the pedophiles. And that in the accord there's no mention of children at all. And also here that in the mainstream media, generally speaking, primarily speaking, we haven't heard that every province and territory privacy commissioner has sent letters blocking not supporting this. So it's February 19th, 2012, and this is called Bear Claw by Paul Sheard. And this is Martin Varel, and I can never remember its beautiful tongue-twisting name. I just have this one framed. This is the first piece I've ever bought. This one's on the to-do list. So I hope everyone's well and keeps their eyes on these Tories. Don't trust a Tory. Hey Liam? Hey Hunter? Namaste everybody.